I'm Chris Moyer, Senior Director of Content and Research at Z-Prime. I'm joined today by John Baxa, President of the Americas for Hansen Technologies. John, thank you so much for being at ETS19.
Yeah, Chris, it's great to be here. I'm really enjoying my time.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit, and tell our audience a little bit about Hansen Technologies and your vision for what is happening in the utility industry.
Yeah, sure. So Hansen Technologies is a global software company. We're based in Melbourne, Australia. I head up the Americas. I'm based in New York City. So we do...
Two pretty nice places.
Very nice places, yes. Yeah. So what we do is we develop software for billing, customer information systems, and data and transaction management systems. And we do it across multiple industries. So we call them three industries: the utilities, which is electricity, natural gas, and water, telecommunications, and pay TV. Mm-hmm. And because we work globally, we have customers in 80 countries across these various industries, but we do essentially the same thing. We see a lot of innovations that develop in one industry make their way into the other, and we see some best practices around the globe and that we try to bring to our clients, in my case here in the Americas. What I'm enjoying about ETS is, and it's my first time here.
Welcome.
I'll let you know, and the reason I heard some really good things about just the overall program and the speakers. I'm interested in some of the trends that I think are going to be, either kind of at or past their tipping point, so they need kind of action right away. One of the things we try to do with our client base is to keep up with industry trends and to make sure that we're investing in our software so that it could actually deliver on some of those trends. It could be, anything from, things like mobile applications or, new ways to. One of the messages this morning we heard a lot that we're very much focused on is the customer experience. And in my mind, it just comes down to you have to be able to provide service to the customers the way they want to interact with you, right? You can't force customer service on anybody. And these days, that's even more challenging. I like to tell the story that cell phones have spoiled us all. I commute into New York City on the train. That's how a lot of us get to New York City. And it's amazing how much of my day-to-day work and my life I can run just on my cell phone while I'm working on a train, and just even standing up on a train, I could, talk with my team. I could be on video conferences on my phone. And, if I have a few minutes, I could actually order something on Amazon and it'll be there when I get home at night. It's become so easy with phone applications for us to kind of be serviced the way we want on our schedules and our time. And it's set the bar so high, right? So how do we bring that same type of level of service to, some of the industries we work in, like utilities, for instance, have traditionally been probably a little bit slower to move just because of, different market pressures. But, how do we actually bring some of this to these new markets? In our telecommunications and in our pay TV fields, these innovations are here. They've been here already.
Right.
In fact, one of our clients I like to have a conversation with, he asked me one day, how come I can go into a cell phone store, pick out a phone, decide what I want on it in terms of services, calling plans, international, and he taps on his tablet, and I wait a few minutes and he hands me the phone. It's completely provisioned, it's ready to go. Within 10, 15 minutes, and then a month from now my bill shows up just like he says to me, you guys know how to do billing. It's great. I mean, how come the energy industry doesn't work that way? But that's the point. I think the energy industry needs to work that way. It needs to get to that point. It's not there now.
That's a great point.
And,
and as you mentioned, some of the industries that Hansen Technologies in, whether it's telecommunication or paid TV, these are two industries that maybe have recognized the change that needs to occur a couple of years before utilities. What's been your experience in the changing expectations that customers had in those particular industries that can be relevant to the utility space as customer expectations are really ramping up for the utilities as well?
Yeah, I think the first one that I've noticed and kind of experienced as a consumer is, people have emotional attachments to their cell phone and their televisions and their programming. It's things that we just kind of value on an emotional level. Myself and my family were watching Game of Thrones on Sunday night. I mean, everyone's talking about it Monday morning. There's an emotional connection with TV programming. Same thing with cell phones. I mean, there's all sorts of ideological wars between iPhone and Google, but we're all emotional and invested in it, and we live our lives off it, right? So when is that emotional connection going to happen in the energy field? And it's clearly been missing for a long time.
Sure.
I mean, it's just, my background is more technical. A long time ago, I was a software engineer, so I kind of, enjoy the technology, but I'm not as emotionally attached to home automation for my HVAC system as I am for my television and my cell phone. So, and that's somebody who's a bit of a technical background. So there's no way I can expect somebody to be, on a widespread basis, be that emotional. So what I'm excited about, what I've seen in the last few years is things like renewable energy and climate change are forming emotional connections. They are for me too. I'm a big advocate of renewable energy, and always, my wife and I always have been. But we have 3 children that are the millennial generation. We heard some of that earlier today, and I was nodding my head because that resonates with my kids. Now all of a sudden energy is emotional, and they're very much in favor of renewable energy sources. They're very tuned into carbon footprint. The other thing I've noticed about millennials, I think it's true for my kids and their friends, is they're very frugal. They, all of a sudden, if there's a way to understand how I'm using energy and I could actually reduce and keep my bill down, I kind of chuckle at times because, some of my kids will call me up and say, oh my goodness, I got a $40 electric bill. I'm like, I wish I got a $40 electric bill, but they're very aware, and they're like, I got to figure out, if there's some way I can reduce that. So I love it though, because there's 2 examples where they're actually very emotionally connected to energy. And you see things going on with just environmental movements. And who's leading the charge right now? It is the younger generation that's actually leading global rallies on environmental policy changes that need to happen. I think it's very exciting. I think this industry now, I'm very encouraged, is actually either at or maybe beyond some of the tipping points on some of these energy emotional issues, and that's what's going to cause the change. That combined with technological innovation. The innovation's there now. The wireless networks, the distributed ledgers, blockchains, or otherwise. I mean, there's proven around the globe. There's pilots that have successfully demonstrated that you can do this. So you combine emotion with technical innovation, it starts sounding like the cell phone industry to me, and there you go. I think then it starts to take off.
Well, I'm so glad you brought emotion into it, because this year's theme is Love Your
Energy.
I know. And as as Hansen Technologies looks into the future, as utilities look into the future, as Z-Prime looks into the future and the change that's occurring in the industry, I think that once upon a time there really was an emotional resonance to the energy space. But now we take for granted that the light's going to turn on.
We do.
That the heat's going to come on.
Yeah.
The assets have been built for 50, 75, 100 plus years.
Yeah.
Those, the convergence of climate change, the convergence of customer control, that's that new emotional resonance that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So what does Love Your Energy mean to you? And how does that play into the vision that you want to bring forward into the energy space?
Yeah, for me, Love Your Energy is at an emotional level. I'm very passionate about some of the new technology and the renewable sources, and I do want to be able to feel like I'm contributing to solving some of the problems that we know are out there, right? And so that's a choice I want to be able to make, but I want it to be very easy. I don't want if I want to get involved in solar energy and it becomes a big project where I have to finance something on my roof and it becomes an engineering project, right? I don't want it to be difficult. And I think there's going to be ways that people are going to solve. You can get any consumer involved in whatever type of energy source they want to use and commit to and use for their own use, and make it very easy to provision and sign up for, and just feel like you have some kind of control and influence on how you're using your energy. And
that almost brings us full circle to this idea that you started with, which was the cell phone, and how easy it is for customers to operate on that platform, whether
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
an iPhone or an Android or what
Yeah,
have you.
yeah.
The ease is right there.
It's the ease, yeah.
And so if the utility space can make it easier to
Yeah.
do billing, to do other, energy efficiency, demand response.
Provide services that are needed. In fact,
Yeah.
that one of the sessions this morning, which I was again nodding my head to, is observable behavior versus surveying.
Yep.
I mean, we all get these surveys and I got another one to fill out. Half of them you just don't have time to fill them out and they just sit in your inbox, right? That's another case where I'm okay with people watching some of the transactions I'm doing and then inferring from that kind of what my preferences are and then providing me some answers because it's just you're busy, right? It's so much easier for someone to present something to you and say, is this of interest to you? Yeah, it actually is, and click through and okay, well I just signed up for some renewable energy credit or something. That was easy. And as soon as it becomes that easy, like so many other things we do in day to day, I just think it becomes really exciting.
Well, that's what we're
Yeah.
really excited about at
Yeah.
Z-Prime. We appreciate you sharing your time with us today,
Yeah.
John, and the Hanson Technology story.
Yeah,
Thank you
and
so much for being
Yeah,
with
it's great
ETS.
to be here. And from our, our business too, as I sit in the audience, I try to understand, what does this mean for our software platforms? Because, the value we bring to our clients is to continually invest in our software so that as these trends hit the market, we can say with confidence, yeah, we know how to do that. We've supported it, in this market or another one, and it's ready to go. So, thanks.
John, thank you so much for
Okay,
sharing
Chris,
the
thanks for
story.
having me, Chris. Yeah.